Okay. Hi YouTube. So, a friend of mine and myself just got back from the John Muir Trail. We did it in 14 days, July 8th through July 21st. If hopefully somehow, including those days, end up to be 14 days. That's what we did it in. Fantastic trip. It's gorgeous country out there. But I noticed everybody on YouTube tends to do, well, not everybody, maybe the plurality of folks tend to do a review of gear before they go. I don't know if that's just to help them out psychologically, just to make sure, see if anybody YouTube comments saying that they're crazy for bringing this or not bringing that. But I don't know, I'm just going to do a review of the gear after. Helpful, hopefully. So let's start off with the basic stuff. Bag. I have a ULA Circuit. Fantastic bag. I'm 5'6", 133 pounds, and I don't really have much of a hip ass region. So this has got two straps you can buckle down on each side, and it's super duper helpful for somebody with my condition. So skinny guys, take note. Really helpful. Takes a lot of the weight off your back. I removed the hydration pouch. Ignore that. Remove the hydration pouch to save some weight. Also removed, there's a little pouch kind of near the top. Remove that because I thought it would save some weight. Stupid idea, because I just should have kept it and, knew where my credit card and wallet always was, instead of, folding it up in a Ziploc bag and cramming it at the bottom of the bag. Speaking of cramming at the bottom of the bag, sleeping bag, Kelty Cosmic Down 20, I think. Could have gotten away with less on the trail, but I sleep cold. Also, to note, it is the mummy bag and it's also women's. Randomly, when sales come about, women's sleeping bags seem to be priced less than men's. Don't know why, but I picked that up for 75 bucks. Not bad. So to go with that, let's see. I got the Six Moon Designs Deschutes Plus tent. It is a bottomless tent. Instead, it's you use a trekking pole, set it up, pin it down in I think 6 areas. Yeah, 6 areas. Has a fairly large footprint that was a little bit of an issue a couple times, but I mean, it weighs 15 ounces. It was really nice. Gave me plenty of room for myself and my gear. Condensation wasn't much of an issue, but then it gets to Sierras. Condensation was only an issue maybe 2 nights the whole time. I think it cost like 170 bucks. Well, did it? It cost money, more than I typically spend on things. But man, really treated me nice. I didn't know if I'd like it. I really loved it. Setting it up is just a breeze. I mean, it came with Tyvek for a ground sheet. I just cut it down a little bit. And what I liked doing was setting up my ground sheet, everything that I was going to sleep with, that I wasn't basically eating with, and then, because there were a lot of mosquitoes, and then just setting up my tent over it, because I can do that, and then no mosquitoes will get in. So what was underneath me, one of these guys, foam doodads, horrible. This is the same one I used on the long trail that I did last year. I slept in shelters with maybe it's because I'm getting older, I'm 31, but man, this just hurts. You are not going to get a good night's sleep with this. So what I did, also because I sleep cold, I paired it with this, the insulated static V-Light. It's a little over a pound, 19.5 ounces or so. I would give it a glowing review if it wasn't for the fact that the very last night, before we summited Whitney, it failed. And I mean, I babied this thing. Tyvek ground sheet, sleeping on small pebbles to sand, and foam pad underneath, and this thing sprung a slow leak somewhere. So I haven't tried patching it yet, and I can't send it back. It's been too long, but we'll see. At the moment, I would not buy this again. My friend used the static, not light version, and it served him the entire time, and he did not have the foam pad to baby it with. Alright, let's see. Out of all this stuff here, stock poop. These things. Don't be an asshole. Get one of these. All those people that say, oh, tent stake, yeah, I go ultralight, I use tent stake. Baloney. From this hilt to the, bottom here, 6 inches. It's basically, most tent pegs are 6 to 8 inches. Are you telling me they're actually digging a hole big enough for them to poop in with a tent peg? No. And also, the ground there is like sand. It would basically be caving in every single time well, it's like sand cement. This was very helpful. Worked out fine. Use it. Also, which I learned from some PCTers, and I guess I'll bring in this guy, the Bear Vault, because I use that to store my food. There's 2 little plastic nubbins here that people complain about because you have to, thank God bears don't have opposable thumbs. People complain about not being able to get in on cold mornings. Just press this there. Boom. Boom. And it's not going to be dirty because remember, this doesn't touch anything that comes out of you. It just digs holes. So, moving on, I guess, let's talk about the Bear Vault. So, it's a pain in the butt because it's 2.1 pounds, but 9 out of 10 people on the trail had this. It's really nice to be able to see your food. All the other ones are opaque, mostly. It's a pain in the butt because it just does not sit proper in your pack. It kind of keeps weight off of you. Fit in a week of food. I mostly ate bars, brownies, more bars, trail mix, dehydrated foods, Pop-Tarts, jerky, all that type of fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, it worked. It's a great seat. Change the sticker or remove the sticker because everybody just uses theirs like unmodified. So you start noticing, you start wondering whose is whose. Mine was pretty obvious because I put a different sticker on it, and I highly recommend getting, this is 3M high-vis tape. You could see this from 200 feet away easy. And what's funny is I tended to set mine up a little earlier in the night because I went to bed earlier. And in the morning it would have all these friends around it. It would have like 5 around it if I was sleeping near people because I'd face the reflective tape towards where my tent was. And it's blinding. You look over and with a headlamp and you will see this unless you are blind. So yeah, get that. Let's see. I don't think I mentioned these, but so my tent came with like 1 or 1.5 ounce tent stakes for like all 6. The ground there, you're not allowed to camp on grass or shrubs or flowers, so you're usually camping on very fine gravel or super packed sand. And if it goes in real easy, it's going to come out real easy. So these are similar to the MSR groundhogs, but these were like $10 for 8 of them on Amazon. I'm not sure what variety they are. They're really great. Pound them in with a rock or the heel of your shoe. They worked out perfect for me. Let's see. Oh, another item. So a lot of people say they just, you jump in a stream and you need to dry off, or your tent's got condensation, you need to dry it off, use a bandana. I brought a bandana. I tried it first for that stuff. Baloney. I shouldn't have brought it. It soaks up water so quickly and just hangs onto it that it's just not helpful. So I also brought a micro dry towel. I got the medium. I could have gone with a small. I mean, this thing soaks up water like nobody's business. And you wring it out and it's ready to go again. Yeah, honestly, this was a good buy. It weighs, I think, 3 ounces, 2 ounces. Weight penalty, who cares? I like being dry. Let's talk about trekking pole because I need it for the tent. Pacemaker sticks, the Expedition. I mean, these are like 1 pound each. Nothing special, but 38 bucks or so on Amazon. I mean, you can get lighter, but you're gonna pay so much money. So, you know, you do you. Pick whatever you want. That's what worked for me. Pretty sturdy. Let's see here. Let's talk dinner. I had an 8-ounce isobutane canister and used this, the D-Power stove, because it folds down pretty nicely. Has a piezoelectric starter, which didn't have an issue the whole trip, even though I brought backup matches and backup lighter. And it cost $19. It was perfect. My friend brought the pot. It was a good sized pot. We cooked, let's see, every time we boiled water, it was for 2 people. I didn't put it full bore. I put it on a, low simmer to conserve fuel. And let's see, each meal probably took about 2.5 cups of water. So a pot that would hold 5 cups of water, no, let's say 6 cups of water, because we'd also do hot chocolate at night. I mean, it held that perfectly. It warmed it up fast. I didn't time it, but it didn't take too long. And it probably, I would say, under the conditions I listed, easily was good for 14 uses with the 8-ounce canister. I paired it with this, a little windscreen. It's like 10 bucks. I heard it would be windy. It wasn't really windy, but if anything, it reflects some heat back. Do not use these with something that screws directly on top of your isobutane canister, because you don't want to heat up that area between the nozzle and the stove itself. You could, don't. You can with this, because here's where the canister is, here's where the stove is. So I felt it actually, like, maybe it's in my head, felt like it cooked faster. Let's see, ate food with this guy, Optimus titanium spoon. I mean, it's nice because it's light and it's long, which was great because I had freeze-dried meals, but I kind of wish this was bigger. That was the only issue. Let's see. I used, Dirty Girl gaiters. Fantastic. My friend did not. I mean, you'd have to do pit stops every so often because he'd have, rocks come in the back of his shoe or whatnot. These were great. A lot of people on the trail had these. Let's see. What else is going on here? Getting into peculiar items. Headlamp. Get whatever one suits your fancy. I like this guy because it has a red light setting, which is great when you're talking with folks and it's night out and you're not blinding them. It's also great for, when you're writing in the tent or something. This is, my wife made me get this personal locator beacon, or as I call it, personal husband locator. It's the ACR request link. Probably one of the most expensive items I spent money on. I used it in Vermont too. It's fantastic. Having not used it, except for one item. This is the antenna. It kind of like weirdly folds and clips in, but it comes out immediately, and it comes all the way out. This covers the buttons that call in the cavalry. Put some rubber bands around it because constantly throwing it in my pack, even though I guess technically you're supposed to like holster it on you. This would just come undone, and I was just terrified constantly that it would accidentally call people or whatnot. One other safety item, I mean, these are like $2. Just get a Mylar emergency blanket. If it's not for yourself, you could give it to somebody. It weighs nothing. Getting down low here. I think it's just clothes left. Let's see. I wish I knew the name of the brand of these, but they're standard zip-off pant legs that are made of nylon. These are great. You can spend $75 at REI on these, or just go to any one of the millions of Chinese dealers on eBay and get them for $10, which is what I did. works out perfectly. Very elastic band too. I ended up not needing a belt, which was great. Here's something I wish I would have thought through better maybe. I was a bit worried about temperature being too cold because I sleep cold. So my hiking gear was Stoic Merino. This is 150 weight, long sleeve. It was really good, and it would hold up for about 5 days before it started smelling. But mosquitoes can bite through it. There were more mosquitoes than I've seen in my entire life. So I would need to put on something else to keep them through. I mean, they would not bite through the nylon. So if I did it all over again, since temperature wasn't necessarily a factor, I would get some long sleeve nylon for sun protection and for mosquito protection. However, one awesome thing about this that nylon can't do, well, other than the smell factor, when it was ridiculously hot and you'd come across a stream, I would dip my hat in to cool down, but I'd also soak my sleeves and it would evaporate off and leave me very cool, which was fantastic. I splurged a little bit on this, and I think it was a very good buy. This is like 1 ounce or 2 ounces. It's Outdoor Research's wind blocker. And it's super light. It rolls like right up into this hood. And yeah, it's just kind of a neat item. In the mornings, I would usually be cold, so I'd put on all my clothes before I left my tent, this guy, and the down jacket. And by the time we were ready to go, I'd just take off the down jacket and just hike with this. And after like 45 minutes, I'd take this off usually. But this was just like the perfect little extra layer. And blocks wind, which is very nice because I feel like when it's not windy, like you're hiking, because you normally camp at the bottom of the valley or so, adds just a little bit, but when you're kind of up somewhere and it is windy, it really cuts down the wind. It was a little pricey for me. I think it was $60 or so, but I think it was worth it. And last clothes item, generic down jacket. My friend used the Nano Puff and he loved it. That's probably half to a third the weight of this. I could have done better on this department, but I didn't want to spend money anymore. And on top of that, I brought a bunch of kind of ditty bags. Cram it in one of these, you got a pillow. So that was super helpful. Let's see, other items. You get tired of food real quick, so definitely change up your food, which is what we did. We mailed ourselves at MTR 2 different food items, different from, first part of the week, second part of the week. First part of the week, I thought I would love tortillas with cheese and pepperoni, because I love pepperoni. No, even after like day 2, I got bored of it. And then I realized that my small knife, I mean, if I wasn't cutting pepperoni, I didn't need it for anything else. You're not going to, sacrilege for camping, but I mean, you're not going to need a knife. So I probably would have left that at home. Let's see, any other items? Bug net, absolutely necessary. I don't have it here because, I mean, it was so buggy that when we were leaving, met some folks that were starting, and my friend and I immediately just gave them our bug nets because they're like, oh, mosquitoes, didn't hear about that. Don't bother. Well, I want to say don't bother with bug spray. My friend had the little orange bottle that you always see everywhere that was 30% DEET. It would work for 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Somebody had the 100% DEET and claimed it worked. But at that level of DEET, I'd be a little worried about sleeping with that on you for such periods of time. So honestly, just bug net and clothes that, they can't get through, like nylon. They won't bite through nylon. I mean, there were literally times where I'd be sitting like this, eating food, and I'd just have to lift my bug net up just to below my nose, and they'd still find a way to come in and bite me. There'd be probably 30 on each leg, 20 on each arm, I mean, I'm wearing my down jacket and everything. They're just there. Yeah, almost like my friend summed it up by saying if he knew there were that many mosquitoes coming in, he would not have actually gone. So it goes. I think that's basically it. Oh, sorry, I used the Sawyer Squeeze. The bag it came with, I brought 3 different bags. Generic bag I had that just happened to have roughly the right pitch. The 1 liter bag, which held up but looked like it kind of didn't want to hold up. And then I bought, I wish I remember the name of it, but it's not the Platypus, but there's a Japanese manufacturer of 2 liter bags that have this little orange like wraparound band and a cap on it. It's really nice, and I use that a lot. In fact, I used it probably more than any other because I was filtering for 2 people. That actually sprung a leak. However, it was very peculiar. It must be a strong enough material that in squeezing, it sprung a leak, but it didn't get bigger. It just stayed the same size. So it was shooting out, it was such a tiny hole, literally a pinhole, that it would shoot out like this long little arc when it squeezed, but it did not burst. And I was babying it. So it goes. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if anything was helpful or you disagree with anything.